take a deep breath. Come back into your bodies, back into the room. What a wonderful journey we get to go on. Back, back, back. Another deep breath. Excellent, excellent. Well, I'm so glad that you're here because I want to talk about cleaning up our thought. This is one of those uniquely Barbara talks that those of you who have been around for a while are going to recognize. Those of you who haven't been around for a while may be confused. Stay with me. I was wondering when I was going to talk about this because it's been going on for a while, and doing a little bit of calculations, what I realized is that it's been 9 months. And what a perfect gestation time that is for the birth of something new. And those of you who were around 9 months ago might have remembered that my husband, John, got elected president of our international organization, which means he got a new job. And I'm not sure I really knew what that meant, even though I treated for this for years, that John Waterhouse was president of Centers for Spiritual Living, and he was doing a great job, and truly this is the job of his dreams, and he loves it. The thing I didn't take into account was the fact that his job's office is in Denver, Colorado, and his job requires that he travel a lot. Now, we were really lucky that he was here a couple of weeks ago, and since then he was in Florida last week, and he's in Capistrano Valley this week. He's going to be in Falls Church the week after that. I know he's going to be here on Thanksgiving. He's promised he's going to be here on Thanksgiving, but he travels a lot. And I found myself not handling it all that well. And I know that many of you are surprised because I don't let on when things are bothering me. It's not my nature, it's not good religious science, don't give a lot of energy to it, don't talk about the story. But what I found is that I was acting out in certain ways. I was using coping mechanisms, and I don't know if any of you do that or not. But I was using coping mechanisms, and one of my coping mechanisms is to feel just a little bit sorry for myself. I'm living alone. I've been married 23, 24, however long it's been. I've been married a long time, and yet I'm living alone. I get up in the morning, I'm alone. I go to bed at night, I'm alone, and have wonderful phone calls during the day. But I found myself buying into this consciousness that went, poor me. Everybody else gets John but me. He's there for the whole world, but me. Sometimes I would go into his office and I wouldn't talk to him until he turned away from the computer. Like, I will not talk to you unless you turn away from the computer, so that I could make sure that I had that connection with him. Now, those of you who have not been around that long don't understand how powerful I am. I am amazingly powerful. So I was watching. I was just dabbling and a little feeling sorry for myself, dabbling and a little complaining, not going too deep, because I know that I could wreak havoc on the entire planet if I were to jump into that. But I found myself doing things like watching a lot of television. God, TV's great. It's like a drug. They just shoot it in me, I can just zone out. I'd come home from class. It'd be late at night. I wouldn't even go upstairs into the kitchen. I'd just flop down in my cushy couch, put the lever out, have my feet come up, have my giant screen TV come on and it would just take me away somewhere. Except I found that I was doing that every day. That was 9 months ago. I found new friends of drama shows. I found HBO and Showtime things that I didn't even know they could put that on TV. And then along came the elections. Whoa, I was in deep. I have a TV in my office. I forgot. I forgot that it doesn't matter what people on TV say. I forgot that fear is a figment of my imagination. I forgot that the earth does not depend on who gets elected to whatever position. I forgot that. And I jumped in, because I'm a smart person, and I can see both sides of it. Boy, I love this thing about, if you think you have an opinion, you don't have a good opinion unless you can completely argue the other side of it effectively. And so I would do that. I would do that, I think, just to not, just probably to drive myself crazy, just to not go crazy, just to fill up my time. I would look at it from every which way. I found myself kind of having the energy sucked out of me. I don't know if you've ever done that. You get into a little complaining, a little feeling sorry for yourself, a little angst, and all of a sudden you're not quite awakening in the morning with the vigor that you're used to. You know, your energy is being used for something other than supporting who you are. Now, I just came back from a week at the beach, and it was great. It was a great week at the beach because I love to go to the beach. And John and I schedule our beach time a year in advance. We sit down in January and we schedule a whole year. We've got a great deal with the resort on the water that people know us. We love them. They love us. We book it all and set it all. And so I was really surprised when he said, oops, I have to be in LA on Thursday. I said, Thursday? We're not going until Sunday night. He said, well, let me tell you about that. I think I'll go early. And that way I can have my weekend. I'll go down to Fort Lauderdale. They've been asking me to talk there for about a year now. I'll go down and I'll talk. And then I'll leave on Thursday, and you can stay until Saturday. I said, okay. So we had 3 days. There's a point to this. We had 3, you know, I haven't talked to you for like almost 3 weeks, and it's been a really good, I'll come back. It's been a really good 3 weeks. My life is great. My life is going great. Our center is doing fantastic. Come to the dinner. I want you to hear the State of the Center address. We are doing great. We are doing great. I am doing great. Do you know how wonderful it is to be in a relationship with someone who's happy? I mean, let me give just the flip side of this. I am married to someone who is deliriously happy. And some people say that that's a boundary issue, that my happiness would be contingent upon his happiness. I don't care. It's easier to be in a relationship with someone that's happy. He's really happy. I'm young. I'm beautiful. I'm at the top of my profession. Over the last 2 weeks, I was informed that my doctorate of divinity has been approved, and you're all invited. You're all invited to my celebration and party on the first Friday night in January. It's the first time we could get our schedules together to where we could have it. We're going to throw a party. We're going to have a celebration. It's wonderful. I am a doctor. Las Vegas at our annual ministers' convocation, I was awarded the Living Treasure Award, which is kind of a big deal. It says, 2012 Living Treasure Award, Reverend, could have said doctor, but I was a couple of days off, Waterhouse, in loving appreciation for dedicated, loving, long-time service, Centers for Spiritual Living Clergy Association. All right. My life is going great. I'm at the height of my career. I'm doing well. I had 3 days at the beach with my husband. The weather was perfect. It's November on Miami Beach. The ocean was like glass. There wasn't a breeze in the air, which meant it was hot. It was great. And then Tuesday morning came, and I found myself resisting wanting to go out to the beach. I wanted to hear the election results. Now, there are no election results on Tuesday morning. There are just a bunch of people blowing smoke, trying to use up a number of hours until there are some election results. But I had this incredible experience. It was an out-of-body experience. And I looked at myself and I said, what have you done? What have you done that you have allowed yourself to be hooked in the world of illusion to where the things that are precious to you have taken second place? And it was like that. I snapped. I snapped. I didn't even hear the election results that night. I don't even know other than the president who got elected to what. And I was following them all. I don't care. Because what I realized is that there is something happening in me that if I give it half a chance will be so much more important than whatever an election can hold. That it has been 9 months of me standing on my own 2 feet. Not that I leaned on John, but he was always there. I didn't really have to take responsibility. It wasn't really all about me. It wasn't always my choice. It wasn't my consciousness until he went off. You know, he's got a secretary in Denver. He's got his own office. I saw it for the first time just 2 weeks ago. He's got furniture in Denver. It's a really big office. But there is something that is being birthed inside of me if I will let it. And something snapped. And I don't know if you've had this happen, but for me, it happens occasionally in my life, and it's really important. And so what it occurred to me to do was it is time for me to clean up my thought. It is time for me to take out the trash. It is time for me to wash myself in the light of spirit and to be made new again. If I was in a traditional Christian church, I would say, I have been born again. Because it's like that. It's like that, stepping out and moving forward and letting go of all of those things. I got to tell you, there must have been a part of me that was afraid. There must have been a part of me that said, well, I know I can do this with John. Of course I can do it with John. I've done it for 18 years with John. What do I do when John's gone? Can I do it? Is it going to be okay? Are things going to work out? Well, I want you to know yes, yes, and yes. And so I know what to do. I know exactly what to do. And it's very interesting to me that I don't have resistance. Because I called the cable company. They will be turning my cable off and carrying out my DVR, which has all of my lists of shows waiting to be watched. They will carry that physically out of my house. Why? Because my life is more important than their life. These people are not my friends. I gotta confess, I think maybe I have a little bit of a drama addiction. A little bit of an adrenaline hit, you know, when, oh my God, doesn't that feel good? No, it doesn't. Because when we think those thoughts, we live those experiences. And I want to say, Emily Long, I've been watching you. Emily's coming up to her 30th birthday. And she set an intention to have 30 days of gratitude prior to her 30th birthday. And she posted something that was the only thing that I read about the election on Tuesday night. I want to share it with you. She said, political thoughts for 2012. I think that the people we elect to office play very important roles. I believe they have a great deal of influence. So much so that it's easy to blame and point fingers to those in office for the challenges of our lives. And whichever side of the political fence you stand on, The state of our country and our world is not solely up to them. It belongs to all of us. We are all responsible for the choices we make every day. I believe it's those choices that create the world we live in. Election day isn't just one day. We vote for our life every day with how we choose to live it. So it is no coincidence that I've been rewriting the student handouts for my class that starts tomorrow night. And it says it's about the effective use of prayer, but it isn't. It's all about cleaning up our thoughts. It even has a big banner that says, cleaning up our thoughts. It's all about being aware of what we think and then thinking about what we think and saying, is this really good for me? Is this a good thing for me to think about? Is this a good conversation for me to have? Is this really my highest and best that I am doing right now? And if not, what do I want to do about it? You don't have to change. I don't have to change. We don't have to change. But once we're given the choice, don't we want to? Don't we want to be the very best that we can be? Don't we want to be who we have come here to be? Aren't we ready to stop hiding and playing small? I know that I am. It has been 9 months since my wonderful, loving, fantastic husband got elected to a different job, to a different place, to do different work, and it's fantastic. Today he's talking at Capistrano. I have to say cappuccino to remember Capistrano. Capistrano Valley, and then he's gathering all of the people at this big meeting in LA, and what are they going to have? An Ignite the Soul afternoon. All the centers from Southern California are coming together. There was a time a year ago when people would gather to have these meetings. Now, these are the leaders of this organization, and they wouldn't even go to a center on Sunday. They would schedule a meeting. What are you leading? So now, everybody goes to centers. Not only do they go to centers, but they bring all the centers together. You've got the leadership of the movement here. Let's do something. Let's ignite something. Let's start a fire. Let's, figuratively, let's have something happen in the lives of the people that we are banding together with to change this world. And so it's been 9 months since my wonderful husband got this job that is his. He is so happy. And when we get him, enjoy him. Because I don't know how often we're going to have him. When he's speaking, come, so you can have that experience. But I want you to know, for me, it's been 9 months since the very first time in 30 years of ministry, I've been completely on my own, and something is birthing inside of me. Karen Korp, you touched me last Sunday. You touched me. You gave a great workshop, a great talk. There's still a couple of your books in the bookstore, and you touched me with this idea that there is something inside of us all that's coming out. If we have dirty minds, clean them up. Dirty minds mean, what am I making this mean? What am I transforming this into? How am I using this to limit myself? How am I putting myself down? How am I making myself wrong? How am I making someone else wrong? How am I playing small? That is a dirty mind. Clean it up. If we have a limiting thought, change it. Listen to what you're thinking. Think about what you're thinking. Change what you're thinking. Feel a new feeling. Get happy. I think I'm going to bring back today as a happy day. What does Abraham say? Abraham says, I love Abraham. A happy life is just a string of happy moments, but most people don't allow the happy moment because they're so busy trying to get a happy life. I'm working so hard to be happy. Just be happy. Be aware of your feelings. Be aware of your thoughts. Change what you're thinking. You wield the power of creation of heaven and earth coming together to make manifest a new world. You do that. Something's happening. Something is absolutely happening. I am ready to let go of everything that has ever said in my head, no, you can't. No, you shouldn't. No, you don't. I am ready to let that go. And I am ready to claim all that I have ever promised myself to be. I'm an incredibly powerful, creative, spiritual being, alive and well on planet Earth, manifesting my heart's desire in every moment, and so are you. All you need to do is clean up your thinking, clean up your thought, and there you go. Thank you. I love you. It so is.